Today, we are going to solve problem 1957 from the Leetcode. Delete characters to make fancy string. We'll see in some time what is this fancy string. But before this, let me tell you, this is one of the easy problem on Leetcodes. They have already marked it, but this is pretty interesting one. Do you know, the same kind of problem is very frequently used in DNA error corrections and also in text editors. If you happen to know how they are used there exactly, feel free to comment. Also, please comment if you have any more examples where this problem could be used or is already being used. Now, with this information, let's dive into the examples. They have given us two examples. This is first one that is almost lead code, and then this AAA, B, AAA. What they want is any string that they have provided should not have more than three similar consecutive characters. If you look here in the first one, you have 3E. Obviously, they are consecutive. Now, this is the problem. What they want is they want us to remove this E from here. Similarly, if you look at the second example, they have three A's in a sequence. Now, what they want is us to drop this A. Similarly, if you keep on moving, here are three A's again. They are placed together. We have to remove this A. Now, the solution is pretty simple. What we will do is we will just iterate over the string that is provided, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At any string, let's say when I am at point 2, what I'll do is I will check if the previous to it, that is this one, and one more step previous to it. So the logic is pretty simple. We have to do three things. First, iterate over the string. Second thing that you need to check is if character I is equal to character I minus 1 is equal to character I minus 2. If this happens to be the case, then we will drop ith character. Obviously, with this, we'll also need to see that at least two characters should be there before my current string. So let's quickly write the code over here. Let me say the method name is make fancy string for now. I have a result array or a list, whatever you might want to call it. Then we will iterate over the array that was provided. Let me say this is input str. For I in range 0 to length of input str, we need to check something. If I is greater than or equal to 2, so that at least two characters are behind this, and input str of I is equal to input str of I minus 1 is equal to input str of I minus 2. If this happens to be the case, we'll just write continue over here. Or else, if this is not the case, in normal scenario, what we would do is we'll just add the character to our list. And what will be the character? That will be input str of current string, the string that we are currently at. And once we are done with everything, what we do is I have to return, but I have to return a string, not exactly an array. So I'll use a join function on the list to convert it back to the string. And we are good. This should solve our problem. Let us try to write this code on the platform and it should pass all the test cases. So I've already written the code over here. I'm doing the same thing again. Let's try to run this. This is working perfectly fine. All three test cases are passed. Let's try to submit this as well. Most likely this should work for all the test cases, and yes, it has worked for all the test cases, and we have solved today's problem.